I would encourage everyone listening to think almost like a doctor. Like when you're in the waiting room for a doctor, the doctor does not come in there. He might have his degrees or whatever, but he doesn't come in there talking about how qualified he is or all the treatments that he can do. What does he do? His authority is expressed through the intelligence of the questions that he has, the honesty with which he probes, and how he assesses you. And you understand before you even went into that waiting room how to behave around that doctor. That's the power of asking questions and drawing it out through an assessment thing. Psychologically, you know how to respond to that. You've been trained since you were a child on that, Plug into that instead of thinking, oh, I have to make all of this up from scratch.
So yeah, carrying on that scenario of the doctor patient, right? If I go into my doctor and say, doc, I'm getting these pains in my chest. What can you do for me? If the doctor were to say, well, I had my medical degree from Stanford and I have this certification. I'm a pulmonary specialist. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And if he didn't ask me any additional follow-up questions before, prescribing something, I would be really nervous. I would get up, I would leave that doctor's office. And the same 100%. Thing in that interview process, where if the interviewer just simply comes in and says, okay, Anish, tell me what you can do for me. That's the point where I think a lot of people are nervous to pause and ask some questions up front so they can properly frame their response. Because if I start rattling off all these things throughout my career and 9 out of 10 of them aren't relevant to the problems that person is facing, I just wasted everybody's time.
Agreed.
So it's having that confidence, say, well, you know what? I'm prepared to tell you all about my background today. But first, if you maybe tell me, like what we were talking about earlier, what are some of the big priorities for this role or this department in 2022, 2023? If they give you that, now I can pull for my career to talk about how I can help them with that.